I can't even believe that I'm sitting down to film this video now. It's crazy. Just kidding, I'm not gonna stay all bundled up in this blanket and this hat. So I have a story to tell you all today. I want to preface ahead of time, you can choose to believe what you're about to hear or not. Everything that I'm about to say is real. It 100% happened. So whether or not you believe it happened or not, that's up to you, but it really happened. I want to say that I'm wearing my great-grandfather's UT shirt. It says Texas Longhorns. I went to UT Austin for the first time on January 19th, 2018, and that was for a college visit. And it was really interesting. Here's some pictures for reference. I remember walking around being really stressed out because if you've ever been, the campus is huge, and as we were going, they were like, well, this is this building, but we're just covering part of the campus. And I was like, just part? Like, this feels like this could fit a ton of people. I was scared because college shopping didn't feel real yet. It didn't feel like a thing. So on the way home, we were driving through lovely Austin traffic, and I started crying. And just out of stress and overwhelmed emotions and not knowing what to do, I went back to UT Austin on May 11th, specifically to tour Moody College of Communications this time, and that is where I fell in love. I went to the Moody College of Communications, and I fell in love. And I want to go to school there forever and ever and always. And I'm believing for big fat Jesus miracle to get me there, because I know he can do all things. So yeah, I'm gonna go to UT. Just the equipment I got to see, and the stages and all the classrooms, and I sat in this one classroom that was huge, and it was just like one of those moments where I was like, I want to be here. Then the question arises, can I be here? Because if you know me super well, or maybe even not well at all, you know that I really don't have good grades. They're not great at all. This isn't me trying to be like, everybody pity me. Like, I'm not super smart, and so my grades have never been super good. And so a UT acceptance rate is pretty low. It's kind of hard to get into UT. God told me, he was like, I want you to attend UT. And I said, are you sure? Because I really don't think I have the grades or the smarts. And he was like, no, that's where you're going to school. After God told me to go to UT, I was prompted to read The Circle Maker and the 40-day devotional that goes along with The Circle Maker. And I started reading The Circle Maker again, and I felt God go, I need you to circle UT.
Well, one day as I was dreaming about the church that God wanted to establish here on Capitol Hill, I felt prompted by the Holy Spirit to do a prayer walk. I was reading through the book of Joshua, and one of the promises jumped off the page and into my spirit. It says, I will give you everywhere you set your foot, just as I promised Moses. Well, as I read that promise given to Joshua, I felt like God wanted me to stake claim to the land he had called us to and pray a perimeter all the way around Capitol Hill.
So every time I would drive around UT, I would gain so much more confidence that God was going to get me in. And over time, it got to the point where it was just yes. There was no there was no second thought in sight. I had asked God to remove the doubt from my mind, and he did. And it was such a cool feeling to know where I was going to school. So on December 18th, 2018, I had just done my 5th circle around UT, and I came home, and this is the story of the day I got accepted into the University of Texas at Austin. I was crawled up right there, actually, in my bed, and my mom was sitting on the far end of my bed with me, and I opened my email on my phone, and I saw that I had an email from UT, which anytime I would get one, I'd get a little jittery, but usually it was just like, have a happy spring break or whatever. So I opened my email on my phone, and I saw that I had an email from UT, and it just said, log into your My Status page. Some important information has been posted in the last 24 hours. And I looked up at my mom with this like shock in my eyes, and I was like, oh, Mom, we have to go check My Status. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. So, and mind you, we'd been checking My Status every day as soon as we found out that it was even a thing, and that's the place where your acceptance or denial is posted for the first time. And so we went to her computer. I had never been shaking more in my life, and we opened the tab, and it said, congratulations, Roxanne, you've been accepted into the University of Texas at Austin, into the Moody College of Communications, into the radio, television, film program. And without exaggeration, I fell down to my knees and started bawling. I could not believe it. I believe it because I knew it was coming, but it was such a shock. Like, even more like a hot mess. Okay, hold on. Okay, so, I'm sorry that my eyes are glossed over and my little zit is having a moment. But I just got accepted to the University of Texas at Austin, into the Moody College of Communications. I'm speechless. I'm crying my eyes out because I don't even know what to say or to do or what to think. I'm panting. God is so good. And my mom was crying. We were crying and crying and crying. And she was like, we have to call Dad. And then so we were about to pick up the phone to call my dad. And we heard his truck pull up outside. And I went sprinting outside and I attacked him. And I was like, Dad, I got into UT. And then Harrison was playing video games, so he was all swaddled in a blanket like I was earlier in the video. And he came outside and he goes, did you get in? And I said, yes, Bob, I got in. We call him Bob, that's his nickname. And so I ran to hug him and we were all crying, and then immediately, what's the thing you need to do when you receive a blessing is I wanted to tell everyone. And I went to my Mima's house, and here's this video.
Why?
Hi. Hi. I have something to tell you both. Okay. God got me into UT. Yay! So yeah, that was telling my Mima and my Papa that I got into UT. And then we drove to my Cookie's house, which is my other grandma. And we tried to tell her, but she wasn't home. So this is the video of me on her front porch telling her and my grandpa that I got in. God just got me into UT today.
Oh, wow.
I know, we're all crying.
We've already done that.
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, Roxy.
I know.
Wonderful.
I'm so fortunate that both my grandparents live so close to me that I got to tell them in person that day, or I guess I technically got to tell Cookie over the phone, but she literally lives like 10 minutes away, so it could have been in person. But it was such a blessing to have their reactions on video. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna have to end up putting some music behind it, but I have screen recordings of telling some of the most important people in my life that I got into UT, because every person in here was invested in me, and a lot of them were praying with me that I would get in. So I thought when I took a screen recording of a FaceTime, you could hear the audio too. I guess I should have tested it, and I didn't. I want to thank everyone that prayed for me to get into UT, that was invested, people I know, people I don't, whoever it might be. I want to thank God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit for getting me into UT. It's a dream and a blessing, and I cannot stress enough how these statistics said no, but my God said yes. Statistics said you're not smart enough, basically you can't get into our school, and God said yes you can, and here you go. And now I can't wait to get there and tell everyone my story of God is cool, He is real, because I shouldn't be here right now, but here I am. I encourage you to read The Circle Maker by Mark Batterson. He tells a lot of really good stories in that book about people who circled places or things or ideas and then they ended up coming true. It's a huge faith builder, and if you want to read the 40-day devotional along with it, the devotional is also amazing and builds up your faith as well.